Hey, folks, you're live with Lonzo, the godfather of West Coast hip hop and the president of the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. In my day to day activities, every once in a while, I run across somebody that I find very interesting, has a good subject to talk about, and has an interesting career. Today, we're kicking off something different. We're calling it County LA TV. My man Kevin is in the house today, folks, and we're talking about men's mental health. People don't take that serious. People don't think we have issues. Kevin works for the LA County, and he is a mental health consultant, and he's on the show today. We're kicking this off today. We're going to have some mental health experts on here, but today we're kicking off just me and Kevin talking about men's mental health. What's up, Kevin?
Can't call it Lonzo. What's up with you?
Man, just doing what I do, trying to make a difference, baby, trying to make a difference.
As you should, as you should.
Now, you and I have had subjects in the past. We've talked about men's mental health on a regular basis, and it's so many things affect a man's mental health. And for some reason, nobody think we have feelings. Nobody think we have emotions. Just think, if you deal with it, and that's not how it goes. Talk to me,
man. Most of the time, they think we like a brick, like a man don't have any type of emotions. But what they got to realize is that we human beings. So we got some type of emotion going through us. We're men,
right?
Yeah.
Some of the triggers, man. We've talked about this in our private conversations. Is dealing with child support issue. You can't see your kid. You're spending your money, but you can't see your kid. Talk to me about that.
The thing about that is that most men, when they can't see their kids, they go through an emotional breakdown. It's like, man, I want to see my baby. This is my baby. Now the biggest thing about this is that when the woman and the man are together making this baby, they enjoying each other.
Okay.
But the minute that she sees that she can have a financial hold on this man, now is all of a sudden you ain't no good. You can't see your baby. Your daddy's a dog. And they teach this to the children, and now the children begin to act like that towards the father.
And give me my money and my baby. I hate that. My baby. Wait. It's our baby. How is your baby? But it's my responsibility. But it ain't my baby. Come on now. Keep it 100. Do you see a lot of that being a trigger for men having mental health issues?
I do, because that baby's a part of that man too. Even though the woman pushed the baby out, she wouldn't have that baby if the seed wasn't fertilized.
Right.
So now,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So now he's dealing with, this part of me is now gone. The mama talking bad about me. Now this baby don't even know who I am, or exactly the baby don't know who I am, because it's all based off what the mother is putting into that baby's head.
Do you see it more with guys who have little boys or daughters, or is it equal to this, or is it different?
You know what? It's a different perspective when it comes to your daughters, because you want to see your girls, you want to be in your daughter's life, and you want to be that male figure to your daughters. But then when your sons, that's your boy. That's just, that's me right there walking on this earth. And I want to be able to raise this man to be a man, because a woman can't raise a man. She has no idea what it is to be a man.
Oh, no, she never pissed up against a tree. I gotta tell you a story. One day, my son was hanging out. He was young then. He was about 4 years old, and Daddy, I gotta pee. I'm like, dude, we on the street, and it's like only thing I could find was a park. The bathroom was locked. So I blocked him. Man, go by the tree. He went by the tree. Okay, cool. A couple weeks later, the same thing. Dad, I gotta pee. I said, man, where to go? He said, go tree right there. So I taught him a bad habit, but it was sometimes, hey, man, you got to do what you got to do. What other triggers do you find, man, that affect men's mental health that's common?
Well, so, the point of us having to take care of our families or how we are looked at when it comes to society. What are we supposed to do when it comes to taking care of our finances? There's a lot of things, man, that come into perspective, man, when it comes to being a man. your livelihood, how how you look when other women are looking at you, how you look when other men are looking at you. With this new age, you don't know what to expect when it comes to a man looking at you, because you don't know if he want to fight you or if he want to bite you.
Right.
Yeah.
I ain't never thought about that part, Doc. That's deep because we're in a whole different era, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's a whole different era. What about gangbanging, man? How what kind of trauma comes behind that?
Well, it's tough, man, when you start talking about gangbanging, because you're thinking about an individual that is getting around another bunch of individuals and considering themselves a family. And then they are a part of a street where, as you know, we've heard over in the past, you claiming something that you don't even own. So they don't even have ownership. And then when they destroy a community to which they call their hood. So it's like a psychological dysfunction that they have when it comes to gang banging, because I mean, it's my block, but I'm destroying the people on the block. I'm destroying the block. I'm tagging up the block, but I'm not doing anything productive.
Right.
And it really, a lot of them, man, they coming from broken homes. Some of them, man, they come from quality homes, man, but it's just something inside that home where we got that transmitted trauma or that toxic stress that a lot of our men deal with, that pushes them out into society where they don't know how to deal, and they just figure, let me get around these cats here and we can all come together collectively and do something positive, what we think is positive.
You said transferred trauma.
Uh-huh.
What is transferred trauma?
So it's like when your mom, so say for instance, you inside your home and your dad and your mom, or both of them, are depressed.
Okay.
And that depression is inside the house. It can't go outside the house. It's going to be transferred to that child inside the house, because it's there. And the child is going to keep on absorbing that depression to where now that child becomes depressed.
Wow. And toxic stress, same thing.
That's just pretty much the same thing. It's just that you keep on having this constant negativity being pressed on you, to where now you have this attitude that everything is going to be based off what your family member or what you've been around.
You know, I'm looking in the chat room right now, man. We got brothers, some of my brothers from my other shows. The chat is chiming in the chat room. Some of my regulars, J. Rose Theory. He says the people act like men don't have no emotions. Like if we have pain, we just gotta walk it off, you know. And that you always taught as a young man, walk it off. You know, whether you get kicked in the shin, kicked in the balls, walk it off. But when you have emotional pain, you can't walk it off, man. You can't walk it off.
No, that stuff is bottled up inside of you, and that's why a lot of times we have high blood pressure, we have headaches, we have muscle aches, because when the body stresses and you don't allow yourself to let that stress out, it affects you internally. So it starts messing with your organs.
So stress. So what you're saying is the mental stress that you endure, that you encounter from various situations, has a physical reaction as well.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it messes with your heart. It messes with your blood, how your blood pressure, your blood regulates throughout the body, and then as that goes through, man, all these different. My brain just farted on me. But when you have these different issues that begin to get released into you, these hormones are released into your body. Usually they got what's called the flight and flight mentality. Whenever you get stressed out, you want to either fight or you want to flight. But if you just sitting there and you getting stressed out about something, those hormones get released into the body, and you're just sitting there. So now your body does have no way to release the stress, which is usually sweat, and now it's trapped inside of you. Now it's going to go get released into the other organs, where you start having those issues with your kidneys and your bladders and all those things.
So what you just saying, Doc. So you imagine a brother get locked up. Imagine what P. Diddy going through right now. Imagine they're talking about all these different charges and possibly life in prison. The stress he's under, because he can't do a damn thing. He can't go nowhere. He ain't whooping nobody. He ain't that big. Okay.
No.
Um, it's just I've had to go sit down. I had a little stint back in the 80s. I had to go sit down for an hour and a half in the jail. I said, this I ain't coming back. Okay, this is not for me. So imagine sitting there something gun and you don't know when you get out, if you getting out. The stress the brothers go through in prison, and then for them to get out and still now you got the stigma in some cases, and you got to readjust all over again to civilian life. That's a whole lot of stress for a brother to deal with, man.
And it's, what's bad about us, man, is being, people of color or people that comes from these impoverished neighborhoods. The biggest thing with us is that when they start talking about rehabilitation, to rehabilitate somebody is to put them back to where they was at before.
Right.
And most of our people rehabilitating them is not doing nothing but creating another monster. Because you had a monster before they went in there, now it's a monster coming back out that you're gonna put back out into the streets. So we got to learn how to actually change the narratives of some people's lives. Because like with P. Diddy, he was, I don't know his whole story, but based on what I saw with him, he thought, he got this money in his pocket, man, and now he figured out he can do whatever he wanted to anybody, however he wanted to do it, and not looking at another person as a human being and saying, look, a lot of people think with money, I can do whatever I want.
Some people do. Some people think they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, but they don't realize, dude, that money ain't gonna do nothing but give you more problems.
I was listening to a radio show today. I'm glad you mentioned that, man, because with all the money he had, he could pretty much, and he pretty much did buy whatever he wanted, whoever he wanted. Okay, but when you took long term, when you run into a real person who your money don't impress, now that's when the frustration comes in. That's when the mental frustration comes in, because now you thought you could do whatever you want to, and even now while he's sitting in jail, he thought he had enough money to do whatever he wanted to, and now that money don't mean nothing.
Right? Yeah.
He offered him $50 million to give him a bail. They said, "Nah, sit your ass down for a little while, okay?
Mm-hmm.
50 million, just so I can go back to my home and sleep in my own bed. Nah, can't do it. You done too much." And we were talking about this dude, man, how out of control he appears to be. I'm not saying he did a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
It appears that he's out of control, because when you think about how many bodies have dropped just from his camp alone, just from his camp, man, just all the people that were close to him at one point in time, Heavy D, Andre Harrell, his baby mama, Kim Porter, Biggie, and Al B. Sure damn near died. I mean, that's some hell of a bad luck. There's gangster rap labels that haven't had that many folks die. I'm not saying the man had something to do with it, but that's some awful bad luck for one particular entity to have so many young people. We're not talking about old people. We're not talking about nobody in the 70s and 80s. We're talking about people, some of them didn't make 50. Some of them didn't make 50. And to see them all meet their demise so early in life, it's sure. And then you hear about the other situations that he may have been involved in. So, it just don't look good. The aesthetic just does not look good. And again, when folks tell you, "Hey, I can give you a meal ticket for," if somebody told you Lonzo was going to pay somebody $1 million to do so and so and so, that nigga lying. He died his ass off. That nigga Lonzo had no $1 million for no shit like that. But when
that's monopoly money.
It comes with a little believability, a lot of believability, to be honest. And it's just, does money? You think money really gives you that the illusion of invincibility?
People believe that. I have, when we give a lot of times we give these classes, and I have a man, he's always saying, "Man, if I had money, I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to do that. I'll be able to become happy." And it's like, man, nah, bro. When you got money, man, it doesn't really make you happy. I mean, there's an old saying: money can't buy you nothing. Money can't buy you everything, but it sure can rent you some.
And you think about that, man, and it's just you hear about all the rich folks who have all these different weird proclivities, and I wonder, did they just develop them, or they already had them because they got the money now they can sponsor them? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah.
You hit me with that. You hit me with that big word, man. I'm trying. I'm going to have to Google that word, prohibitives. That's a good word.
Proclivities. Okay. That's when you got some free things, and you got some weird things about you. It's just another one of the more crazy words I picked up the other day from listening to somebody else on the radio show. You just have these habits that you want to expound on. It's one thing to have your habits and your preferences in the bedroom, but when you gotta have 1,000 bottles of baby oil to get out. Oh, not a freaking
man! You're gonna be greasy coming up out of there, boy.
You're gonna be flying, man. You're gonna be like you're walking on ice. And they said, wait, here's another part. They said they found like 400 some odd dildos. I'm like, God damn.
Man, what was he doing with all them things, man?
I just read that a minute ago, right before you called, right before we started the show. And my man had a whole selection of various devices. I'm gonna call them like that. I'm gonna try and keep this thing as clean as possible. He found various penile devices, okay, imitations of 400 plus, okay, and 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and God knows how many tubes of lube. So it was. But again, here's the crazy part. Now, is that a rich man's I don't know, vice? I mean, you got guys like Playboy guy, Hugh Hefner. You got Hugh Hefner. You had Larry Flint. I mean, he built the empire. Both of them built empires off of exploiting women.
Yeah.
Now, Puffy, I guess he did this exploitation privately, but that don't make it no better.
No.
And do they all have the same type of mental dysfunction to make them think that they can do that? I mean, it's something to think about, man. It's something to analyze, and that's what we're here today. We're talking about it.
Yeah. It's funny too, man, because I can only speak from a black man's perspective because I've been black all my life. And it just seems like, like I talk about intergenerational trauma. We've had decades and centuries of actually being suppressed. Since America came into its inception, we've been, bamboozled and hoodwinked. Right. And now when we come up to this generation today, we still are suffering or still holding on to those traumas that our ancestors had. And it's pushing us even to the point now where we don't understand what the hell we're doing. We're acting like a bunch of either you got one side of the black community to where we can, like you and I, we can get along. But then you may get another brother that might come in the mix and he may not like me because of whatever I may stand, whatever he may think I stand for. And then now we got this polar behavior amongst each other. And a lot of times it's just to the point, man, we just don't know how to communicate. We don't know how to talk to each other. And it's because of what happened to us in the past.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was at the grocery store, and I noticed older brothers, we see each other, what up, okay? And we got that nod that we all to communicate. What's that, brother? What's up, man? All right, now we keep on pushing. Younger brothers don't do that. They don't do that. They have a whole different what up. It's almost aggressive. You know what I'm saying? It's like what up, and we like what up. And what's up, man? And I guess just that simple head nod. I know body language has a lot to do how people interpret you, but when somebody, it's like that, it seems, it's almost a challenge. Whereas, hey man, it's like where on the other hand, you bow your head, it's more of a acceptance. Hey man, what's up, Doc? How you doing, Dave? How you doing, Miss Lady? What's up, Miss Lady? You don't do women like that. Think about that.
No,
you don't do women. What's up, baby? What's up, baby? What's up, baby? How you doing, lady? How you doing? And it's a whole different body language that we experience in the streets. And I think that's something that is another form of trauma. Everybody's trying to be on the defensive.
And I'm not trying to blame my sisters because I love my women. I love them. I got my wife back. I love her to death, but I love women. The thing I've noticed is that most of our young men are breastfed. I almost said the other word because I know you want to keep it good on the show.
You got a job. I don't have no job. Y'all trying to keep your job. I want somebody. I don't want you to get fired.
Well, they boys are titty fed. Just say it like that. They been with their mamas all the time. Their mamas are showing them what they think it is to be a man. And these young men don't even know what it is to be a man because they had a woman telling them how to be something that they never been.
Or something they want them to see them become.
Creating a boyfriend that they don't even want to have an intimate relationship with.
There you go. Okay.
And these kids is, man, these boys, I see it. I'm my daughter. I give you for my daughter, for instance. My daughter, I raised her most of the time she was with me.
Okay.
I never knew how it was to be a woman. So now when you see my daughter, man, she aggressive like a man. Because I never knew how it was to be a woman. So I don't know what to teach her when it comes to the feminine side. So she took on a more masculine behavior or demeanor. So now she out there bucking her chest at everybody.
Interesting. Okay. Now I can attest on the other side. My oldest son, we didn't really even get in his life till he was like 9 years old. But because he was so responsive to me, he had what they call it, an accelerated response to manhood. He's super responsible, 3 kids, take care of his business, and and here's a kid that when he was in the 5th grade got nothing but D's on his report card. They thought he was having some mental issues until he got with me. And it changed. Having a man in this life changed his whole projective, his whole perspective. So it's definitely, we're not just flapping our gums. It's definitely something behind it. You have to have boys do need men in their lives, whether it's an uncle, a mentor, whatever the case may be. I consider myself a gumbo of my old man, Jeff D, the club owner, other men in my life, old man Doodles, who taught me distribution. And it's just, you got to have that mix so that you can get some balance, because you don't want to do everything everybody does. My old man he liked to work with his hands. I like to work with my hands. I don't like working outside. I ain't built for the freeways, okay? So I chose to work with my hands inside as a DJ. So, different people have different, but you got to see all of it to know what you like and what you don't like. And that's the difference. You have to have them options so you can have your resources. I see my man Demetrius in the house from Chicago. We live in Chicago right now, Doc. We live in Sacramento, Chicago. Because one thing about it, brothers got problems all over the world. Man, how much of an effect is the legal system when it comes to brothers?
Oh my God, because first off, it's all about education.
Okay.
A lot of us are not educated on the laws. So we'll go out here into the system and we got what they call street laws, and we try to abide by the street laws, but the street laws negate the actual country. So now we trying to abide by these laws on the street, whatever all them laws are, and then when we try and go to the legal system, it doesn't even, there's no match. It's all polar.
Right.
So now when we go out, when we hit the legal system, we don't understand what the penal codes and all these other, when I went to jail for 7 days and I met a jailhouse lawyer, and them cats in there, man, they know penal codes and all the codes, but they behind bars.
Right. They learned them after the fact. They didn't learn them before.
Right. So they was in there telling me, man, you can get off this because I had a gun charge. You can get off on this. You can do this, say that, and say this, and do. But like you said, if we had known this before we got locked up behind them steel curtains, then we'd be a whole lot better off. But again, we have a system, man, where it's not the laws, it's the people who enforce the laws that's the problem.
Okay.
You got these people, these guys that was getting beat up when they was kids. Now all of a sudden they put a badge on their chest. Now they're gonna hit up and say, you know what? I'm gonna harass this person because I can.
Right. Gotcha.
And now they treat, and it's not just black people that go through this. You know, usually when you start talking about black and white, it's all about money. You know, if you're in the white, that means you're doing well. If you're in the black, it means you're doing poor. It ain't got nothing to do with skin color. It's all
True.
about finances and economy.
True.
You got
But before we go any further, man, tell them your background so they'll know we're not just two bearded brothers talking shit.
So, man, so my background is I got 13 years, man, working in the mental health field. So prior to this, I worked for the LA County Department of Mental Health as a community health worker. Man, bro, when I was going to school in college, I wasn't going to college to get a degree. I was actually going to college to get education.
Okay.
So now, just in the last 2 years, I ran into an instructor over at Arizona State, and she told me, she said, "Mr. Collins, what you been doing all these years?" I said, "I've been going to get me education." She said, "Do you know you have enough credits to have you a PhD?" So I was like, man, I didn't know that, because I was just taking psychology classes, philosophy, you know, get that information in my head because I just want to better understand what's going on with us black people and what's going on with me.
Okay.
So now I'm on the pursuit of getting my going through my degree process of just taking the classes that I need to be able to get those degrees. But I got more than enough credits, man, just to even say right now I'm a doctor.
Dr. Collins.
Hey.
That's why we're doing this show, folks. Because I met this brother out the streets of Compton, hanging out, and we just clicked. We just clicked. And when I saw what he was doing, we got to talk about what he does. You know what, man? I said, we don't have enough men shows, man. We don't have no men shows. Other than sports shows, they think that's all we want to talk about is sports and titties.
I mean, we can, though. I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but
I the fuck sports, talk about some titties. But
that's what I'm talking about. Those two twins. I love those twins.
You know what? That's one of them things, man. You will never understand why we are attracted to women's breasts. I don't. Why? What is it about that we find? Is it because it's a source of our initial feeding, or no other animal does that? We're the only ones that do that.
Well, you know what mine's is, I like that walk, man. I like a woman that's got that walk. I don't even look at the top. I look from waist down. She got that walk, man. It just turned. It's like, whoa, hello. Let me turn around and try and get her conversation. Then I can't explain that. Now, that's something psychologically, bro, I cannot explain. You know, it's almost like we are like lions. Okay. We want to, you know, we see that little gazelle out there walking in the field, and she start wagging that little tail. Next thing you know, we ready to pounce on her.
Take it down.
Exactly.
You know, we got about a minute left, dude. We're gonna do the half-hour show today. Okay. Tell them more about what we plan on doing in the next few weeks, man.
So yeah, brothers, man, we trying to get it to where we want to be able to bring organizations on here, man, to give y'all information, because there's so much out here that we are unaware of. So we want to be able to bring first men into a circle to where we can talk about men stuff. You know, instead of going to the barbershop, we want to do it here. And then second, bring y'all resources, man. Bring you stuff to where you'll be able to say, man, I can go here, I can go there, to be able to get me some help, man, in pursuing the things that I want to get done. And we just want to be that place, man, where you can come and say, dude, I was able to go in there, get some good information, laugh a little bit, and then go on about my way as a man.
You know something? You thought I saw you Saturday at the prostate cancer walk, and that day I wish you could have came to the breakout room, dude. One, I've been doing this for 5 years. We've been trying to find somebody for the last 4 years to bring out a truck, a van, well, I don't give a damn, a motorcycle that can test these brothers on site. That's one of the things they've always wanted. We found somebody to do that, to test them on site. Okay, he came out. We call him Dr. Homie. That's his character, Dr. Homie. He only doctor I know do an exam in slides and white socks. No bullshit. But they came out and they were able to do PSA test right there on the spot. Then he came over and joined us in the KGLH breakout room. And man, it was standing room only, talking about prostate cancer treatment, symptoms. He did his part, and I came in and talked from a survivor's perspective. Because you don't understand the mental stresses you go through when you got something like that.
Right.
When you got something in your body, everybody know we're going to check up out of here one day. Right. Nobody will leave here alive. Nobody will leave Earth alive. It ain't going to happen. They always say that. But to know that you got something that can give you a date, that can accelerate your situation, is nerve-wracking. It will put you under some serious stress. And I explained to the brother, it was a few brothers there that was dealing with prostate cancer. They just got diagnosed. And most of them are in the early stages, which I was able to assure them they would be all right. And just have that interaction, man. It felt good. It was only one woman in the room, and she was only there because she was a coordinator, but she stayed outside the room most of the time taking information. Okay. She let us have the room and let us allow us to be men. And that was something that nobody's ever done. Usually not talk about prostate cancer. It's a mixed company. And some things is just hard to talk about in mixed company. So we're doing this podcast, and we won't kick women out, but we prefer that it be a man-only show, because we need to have some man-only conversations that can help brothers in their day-to-day existence.
Yeah. We don't want to keep the ladies out, because sometimes ladies may have some good input as well. But you know what? I'm going to give you a story too. When I got my prostate checked for the first time, I was 32. And my doctor had these big old knuckles. I was like, man, no, you ain't. He's like, I got to check you. I'm like, man, can't the little nurse over there with the little hands? He's like, nope, I got to do it. Then he went to put his hand on my shoulder. I said, man, you better not put your daggone hand on my shoulder.
He make sure you didn't run, Doc.
That's what it was. I guess so, huh?
I tell brothers all the time, understand this. One finger is a prostate exam. 2 fingers, prostate exam extreme. 3 fingers, it's a goddamn test. Okay. If you start fainting, yeah, okay, I got one. Now, but yeah, Doc, I tell brothers, man, don't let this one finger, don't let these jokes get you killed. The jokes about prostate cancer, and people make such a big deal out. Comedians talk about it. You see it on television shows, and it's funny. But dude, if this is what you have to do to stay alive, do what you got to do, man. Right. PSA, your PSA test, which is based on a blood test. PSA stands for prostate specific antigen, and basically what that does is a certain gene that's in your body, a certain thing they look for in your blood that lets you know if you have prostate cancer or not. Mm-hmm. Now, if your PSA is high, that don't mean you have prostate cancer. That means you have a high PSA. They may have to go in and check. They call that the DRE, the digital rectal exam. You have to go in and feel for lumps. Okay, if they feel a lump on your prostate, you may need to go see a urologist and get a biopsy. But for the most part, man, this is basic things that brothers just don't talk about, man. They don't talk about that. Before I started talking about prostate cancer, I noticed how, like, next month is breast cancer month. Next month's breast cancer month. Dude, everybody wearing pink.
Yeah.
Football players, baseball players, boxers, everybody wearing pink. This month, what's the color for prostate cancer? You know?
No, I don't.
Most brothers don't. It's blue. But nobody knows that because nobody don't give a damn. Nothing personal, but nobody knows. Prostate cancer goes straight, just like Father's Day. Prostate cancer gets no love. When the female things, they get all the attention. When it comes to prostate cancer, you don't get no love. And that's why I do what I do.
So is it like a light blue, a dark blue, or it's blue?
A light blue. It's a blue. I mean, I got different colored blue shirts. Every year we buy shirts. Some of them are darker blue, some of them are lighter blue. But as long as it's blue, most people have a blue ribbon or a blue shirt or a blue ribbon that represents prostate cancer. And but again, most cats don't know that. And but I tell you what, you're gonna know what breast cancer month's all about. That's for damn sure.
You're right about that.
We need to have some balance. Okay.
We do. We do.
All right.
Yes,
Folks,
sir.
this is our first show. My guest is Kevin Collins. He's also my co-host. He and I said, the other person had an emergency, couldn't do it. I say, bro, let's do a show. Let's get it going. Let's get it kicked off. So it'll be something we have on our agenda for the next. We'll be familiar with each other. We'll have our audience. I'm still inviting my regular folks to the show. I do this. It's my second show this week. So yeah, folks, we'll be here. We're just talking about some manage. This is CLA TV, County LA TV, with Kevin Collins and your boy Lonzo. Just talking about some man issues, men's mental health. So we'll have some experts on here. If you got some issues, you can go into the chat room. If you really want to be a part of the show, I'll give you the phone number. You can call in and ask your question. All right, Kevin, how you feeling?
Bruh, this is all gravy, man. I'm loving this.
I'll send you the link. You can share it with your folks.
Hey, I appreciate that. I'm definitely gonna need it.
All right, folks. This is Lonzo, Godfather, West Coast Hip Hop, President of Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce, and the editor for the Hub City Legend. Kevin, who are you?
Kevin Collins, your friendly neighborhood black man. Community health worker with the Los Angeles County Department of Health, man. Just out here to help my brothers and my sisters out.
Soon to be Dr. Collins. Much love,
Yes,
Doc.
sir.
We'll talk later. All right, peace.
Peace.